Let's bring in New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Welcome. Great to have you here. The statements that were being made about this video, absolutely on target. And the president himself, Congresswoman Tenney, saying that he did not watch the video. And that video is horrific to watch. And I think it just makes you so angry to see this. And it's so shocking and horrible. Should this be taken away? Should this be taken out of possible sight of children? What should we do about this?
Yeah, this is obviously a very tough issue, but especially when it comes to children. And I'm a First Amendment advocate, and I think that we should not be censoring. But at the same time, this video is horrific. I accidentally opened something that showed the video, the beginning of it, and the minute I realized I was looking at this horrific video, I immediately looked away. I'm not a good person to deal with this kind of stuff. I don't like horror movies and graphic images, but I think with our children, and I think this woman that you just had on was right, social media is toxic. It can be very harmful. And we've had a lot of these types of incidents happen where children, have, I think, been harmed by social media and add on AI and chatbots and other things to enhance and make it even worse. Even some video games do the same thing, and they normalize this violence that we're seeing. And it very much concerns me that young children do have access to the internet, and they're going to be desensitized when they see this type of thing. So it does worry me a lot. I do think we had an incident in my hometown in 2019. We had a 17-year-old girl that was brutally murdered by her boyfriend, who took pictures of her and her dead body and posted them on the internet. And it was difficult to get these removed, but ultimately, the family was just grieving. And I can't imagine, how not just Charlie Kirk's family, but his friends and followers, my nieces, nephews, everyone I've heard from is devastated by this gruesome act and just violent, evil act against this wonderful man who was just trying to go out and tell the truth every day.
But Congresswoman, to your point about, the First Amendment, and then the second part of that, who decides? Who decides what's removed? The companies can exhibit responsibility, and they should. They can use technology, but when you're talking about metadata on a global scale, no matter who it is, that also becomes a challenge. So the question, the First Amendment, who decides?
Yeah, and it's a hard question because it's much like the question that was posed by a Supreme Court Justice Potter Stewart many years ago about pornography and how to censor that. I know it when I see it, but look, I think this violence, there has to be a standard with each one of these social media companies that the certain amount of gruesome violence. And also you could display the video with blurring out the worst of it or making it less harmful to children. And I'll be honest with you, David, I have there's a side to me that says, I was able to watch, forced to watch, wanted to watch the horrific acts by Hamas on their own GoPros and cell phones against people on October 7th in Israel. And it was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen, and equally as horrible as the videos I watched recently when I was in Israel, the videos shown by the Druze when they were slaughtered in southern Syria. And these were horrific. I mean, decapitating people, sawing their heads off with knives, burning babies alive, the same things we saw with Hamas. And I don't think sometimes the far left realizes the violence that they talk about. They throw around words like fascism without really knowing what they're talking about. And what's so ironic is there's a guy like Charlie Kirk trying to go to these places courageously and talk to these students and say, do you know what you're talking about? Do you have the history? Tell me why you believe what you believe. Why is this happening? So I know there's a part of me that says, maybe these people should realize the consequences of their actions and the horrible things that are done to real people, fathers, husbands, wonderful people like Charlie Kirk, without realizing the consequences of their actions. This is not a video game. This is a horrific, violent murder against an innocent man.
It's not a video game. We appreciate your being on tonight.